You know, Bobby T, I got you to thank for this, but I was in the buck and bull business for about 7 or 8 years. And one of the things that, you know, I had a welder come out and just build me some pens when I first got started.
Everybody does.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what happened? I got hooked. You know, 2-year-old buck and bulls are a little hot, you know, and I couldn't close the gate and it wouldn't stay closed. One of the things that I loved once I got my Priefert system is, man, you could slam a gate and it would lock and hold. And the slide gates to move your animals forward, it was the safest thing that ever happened once I finally got a Priefert. I actually enjoyed it for a change.
Well, especially when you're handling wild cattle, big horn cattle, self-catching head gates. And the Priefert design on the squeeze chutes makes all the difference in the world because of where you catch cattle. You can catch calves, catch big cows, catch these bulls, and you and I have both done it. They'll weigh a ton, but they'll probably average 1,100. The livestock handling thing, it makes it so much easier and safer for you and the cattle. I've always said a bow gate is a panel. So the more bow gates you have, the better off you are.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing.
It is. And, you know, you and I see this too when we go to different rodeos. We'll go to rodeos that don't have Priefert systems, and then we'll go to rodeos that do. And the ones that have them, there are less wrecks, there are less injuries. And the biggest thing for us as rodeo announcers, we really like the fact that the rodeo moves at a good clip and
bingo.
Yeah. And that's what happens when you have a system like this, as opposed to something that, you know, the county fair kids welded together.
We always show the out front, the Priefert chutes here, the Priefert rope and chute. But that load up alley in the back, this makes so much difference. And you and I, with one eye, are watching the arena, with the other eye, we're watching what's happening. Because if we see them having trouble loading up, or we see a horse or a bull or calves and steers at the other end that aren't loading, we know we've got to fill.
That's right.
And Priefert takes away our fill time.
Yeah, it does, and it also makes it more compelling for the fan. And that's what we want. We want them to be glued into the production. And if we're waiting to see Trevor Brazil rope, or we're waiting to see Cody Wright nod, then you know, that slows down the production. Plus, every now and then, some barrel racer's dog is going to get loose and go to barking at the heels of some bucking horse. And when you've got them in a Priefert system, they're never going to get out until you want them out.
Yeah, and we make dog kennels too. We can, and powder coat them just like everything else. But we make dog kennels so we can lock up our dog. One of the things you mentioned a moment ago is interesting to me. Casey Field, Tilden Hooper, Cody Wright, world champion bull rider J.W. Harris. They will enter a rodeo knowing that the system is good, that their bull is not, or bucking horse is not going to be hassled in the back, that they're going to stand in pens in the load-up system. I know that they won't enter some rodeos where they know, oh my God, we're going to get killed in those chutes.
Right.
My animal's going to be frazzled, and you know, and
you know what else?
This doesn't work.
You know what else for me that really amazed me, and especially at these different places that I've seen them purchase Priefert systems, is like, I got an entrance gate and I had a bucket chute. I cannot believe it's like clear coat on my pickup truck. You take a power washer to these things, and they're brand new. I mean, I don't know. I've been to Priefert. I've seen the system that they use to paint them, but it all blurred over. It'd be like me showing somebody how to turn on a microphone. But all I do know from my own personal experience, from my entrance gate to the buck and shoot system that I have, that, man, a power washer, and it's brand new after 5, 6, 7 years.
Well, I know the way you keep your black trucks, and that's your favorite color. That's trouble to keep them. But the pre-coating thing, first of all, is Priefert makes all of their own, doesn't make the flat steel. They bring it in by rail cars. They make all of the pipe. They make and fold it together and then close the ends. How many rope and shoots, how many buck and shoots you've been to that'll fill up with nasty gnats and scorpions and everything else and fly and bite you? Everything's closed. The welding, either robotic or by people,
and you know what,
perfect.
And you know what, Bobby? If they tell you it's a certain gauge of steel,
it is.
They know because they created the pipe itself. And look at this bucket chute. Is a horse going to kick through here and hang its leg?
Is a bull going to get his horn out of there?
No. But how many times have we been to a rodeo where an animal kicks or rears over backwards, and now the animal's hurt, the cowboy's hurt, and it just floors me when rodeo committees decide to spend tons of money on a lot of different things. But the most important thing they could invest is this kind of infrastructure that's going to make it safer for the people that volunteer to work there and pull the gates.
Totally.
It's going to make it safer for the cowboys they hope come. It's going to make it so their producer can bring better livestock. And I just, for me, I know that you can't pull a big trailer with a Volkswagen, okay? So you can't have a big-time rodeo with a subpar livestock handling system.
This all goes back to Bill Priefert's dad in a little lean-to shop right outside his house when he built the first self-catching headgate. It goes to buying steel 5 and 10 years out. It goes to taking care of their employees. It goes to the whole Priefert lifestyle.
Yeah.
And when people come to work at your plant and your factory in the morning, they're early on time. They're happy to get there. They're treated right. What they turn out every day at 5 o'clock is amazing.
Aren't you glad that you and I as rodeo announcers don't have the same, because this is one of the things I remember when I went through the Priefert tour of the factory, is that at every level when they build this, when this starts with that piece of steel that came off the rail spur, right? At every level they have inspectors. So once this gate gets built and it moves on, and if somebody is able to find a defect, they get rewarded for finding the defect. But the guy who created the defect gets deducted. But the bottom line is they're a family, and they police each other to make sure that once they put that Priefert diamond on it, brother, you can stack it up against anything that's been built by anybody anywhere, and this will be superior.
It's so awesome, and you and I have been using the term since we've worked for Priefert. Now, we might have used it before that we actually worked and understand Priefert, that it's built by ranchers for ranchers, but it's built by rodeo producers for rodeo production. Yeah. It's built by people who use those kind of animals every day in their life. Safety is a real big deal. Production is a big deal. Time is so important today.
And just from my own personal experience, I know that, in San Angelo and in Fort Madison and in Belleville, Texas, a little bitty county fair, or in Monte Vista, Colorado, they've taken the configuration, the dimensions, they've loaded it up in a computer, and they figured out the bare necessities that those venues needed to make their product better. And so the costs were down because they didn't buy extra panels. They didn't buy extra anything because Priefert was able to figure it out to the post what they needed.
That's cool. When you and I had a chance to go in and watch the computers work and to see the architectural engineers and how they did it. So we've only got a 30 by 60 area, but we'd like to have 4 pens, a load up alley, a tub, then a load in alley, a palpation cage, and then there, or a buck and shoot.
Yeah.
And Boyd and I are going, we thought we were high-tech rednecks.
And you know what? It doesn't matter.
Amazing.
It doesn't matter if you're a little bitty rodeo that just wants to renovate, or you're building a brand new facility.
Totally.
I mean, total from the ground up facility to renovations or just updates. They do it all, and it all starts on that computer.
Priefert, built by ranchers for ranchers. And as we say, the buck starts here. Boyd and I are not sold on the product. We are involved, engaged. And if you'd like to go have a little Priefertization, we both invite you to do it because you'll be amazed. Have the best, you'll be the best.